Have you ever caught yourself having a full conversation in your head with someone who isn't even there? You're explaining things perfectly, saying exactly what you wish you had said, or imagining a moment where everything finally goes right. And somehow, even though none of it is real, your emotions react like it is. You feel the tension, the relief, the satisfaction. So why does your mind keep doing this? And why does it feel so hard to stop? What most people don't realize is that this isn't just random imagination. There's a specific psychological reason your brain keeps creating these scenarios, and it says a lot about how you process emotions, control, and social situations. In fact, people who do this frequently often share the same underlying pattern, and once you understand it, you'll start to see your own thoughts in a completely different way. But the real reason behind this habit is deeper than it looks, and we'll get to that in a moment. What's actually happening here is that your brain is running simulations. All the time in the background, it's creating possible situations, testing different outcomes, and predicting how things might play out before they ever happen. This ability is one of the reasons humans are so good at planning and adapting. Before a real conversation, your mind quietly rehearses it. Before a challenge, it explores different ways it could unfold. Athletes visualize their performance before a competition. Speakers mentally practice before stepping on stage. Your brain is doing the same thing, just automatically. And because these simulations are so detailed, your body reacts as if they're real. Your heart rate shifts, your emotions activate, and for a moment, the line between imagination and reality becomes blurred. That's why a simple thought can suddenly make you feel anxious, confident, or even frustrated without anything actually happening in real life. But here's where it starts to change. For some people, this system doesn't just turn on when it's useful. It stays on all the time. You're not choosing to imagine these scenarios. They just appear. You're walking, lying in bed, doing something simple, and suddenly your mind pulls you into another conversation, another outcome, another version of reality. And the more it happens, the less it feels like a tool, and the more it feels like something you're stuck inside. Because at that point, it's no longer just preparation, it's repetition. The same types of thoughts, the same patterns, showing up again and again, even when there's nothing new to solve. Most of these scenarios fall into a few clear patterns, even if you've never noticed it before. The first is argument scenarios. This is when you replay conversations in your head, but this time you say everything perfectly. You explain yourself better, you defend your point, you respond without hesitation. Maybe earlier in the day you stayed quiet, or you didn't react the way you wanted. But now, in your mind, you fix it. You win the conversation. You finally say what needed to be said. The second type is success scenarios. This is where you imagine future moments where everything works out. You achieve something important. People recognize you. They finally understand your value. You picture yourself succeeding, being validated, proving something, not just to others, but to yourself. And while this can feel motivating, it can also become a place where your mind escapes instead of taking action. And the third type is worst-case scenarios. This is when your mind goes in the opposite direction, creating problems that haven't even happened. You imagine being misunderstood, judged, rejected, or failing in situations that may never occur. You start preparing responses to things that don't even exist yet, as if your brain is trying to protect you from something uncertain. But the real reason goes deeper than just imagination. People who constantly create these scenarios usually have a mind that's highly focused on social awareness. They're always, even subconsciously, analyzing how they're perceived, what others might be thinking, and how interactions could unfold. It's not about wanting attention. It's about trying to understand, trying to predict, trying to avoid mistakes, awkwardness, or misinterpretation. So your brain creates these imagined conversations as a way to process everything more clearly. And a lot of the time, These scenarios come from unfinished moments. Things you didn't say, situations you didn't fully understand, interactions that didn't feel complete. Your mind doesn't like leaving those things unresolved, so it keeps returning to them, trying to rewrite the outcome in a way that feels right. And this is where everything clicks. In your imagination, you have complete control. You say exactly what you want, people respond the way you expect, and every situation unfolds in a way that makes sense. There are no surprises, no awkward pauses, no uncertainty. But real life doesn't work like that. Conversations are unpredictable. People react in ways you can't control, and outcomes don't always match what you expect. So your mind creates these scenarios as a way to bridge that gap, to give you a sense of control that reality doesn't always offer. And over time, that controlled version of reality can start to feel safer, clearer, even more satisfying than the real one. But this doesn't mean something is wrong with you. If anything, it means your mind is highly active, constantly analyzing, preparing, trying to understand what's happening around you. You're not just reacting to life. You're thinking ahead, exploring possibilities, trying to make sense of things on a deeper level. Imagination like this can actually be a powerful tool. It helps you rehearse, reflect, and process experiences in ways that most people don't even notice. The problem isn't that your mind creates these scenarios. It's that sometimes, without realizing it, you start spending more time inside them than in the real moments happening right in front of you. But there's a point where this starts to shift, when these scenarios stop helping you process and start replacing real action. When you find yourself replaying the same conversations over and over, imagining outcomes instead of creating them, or feeling more satisfied in your head than in real life, that's when it quietly turns into a loop. A loop where nothing actually changes because everything is happening internally. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the harder it becomes to step out of it and deal with the unpredictability of real moments. Your mind can create perfect scenarios, but real life is where things actually change. No matter how detailed your thoughts are, they can never fully predict what will actually happen out there. And that's where growth exists. In the uncertainty, in the imperfect conversations, in the moments you can't rehearse. Because at the end of the day, imagination can prepare you, but it can't replace experience. And the moments that truly define who you become will never happen inside your head. They only happen when you step into reality and allow things to unfold for real.